Hey everybody, it's Tamika and I am here to do a project share and tutorial on this Rolodex box that I created. These are all the index cards that I received during swaps that I did, and I needed somewhere for them to go because they were just all in a clear case. And another reason why I needed to make this box was my goal is to go through this box every 2 weeks and pull out a or an index card and see what it is that the recipient is wishing for and send it to them. So if you guys remember, I hosted a Rolodex card swap. So the participants that made me one are in here if they fit into this box. Now some of the participants weren't able to follow the directions on how to make the card. You know, I had a link and they didn't fit in here, or they went past the perimeters. Those are not in here because I only made it because I knew I wanted them all to be the same size, because I knew I was making one slim box so they can fit. So these all measure 4 inches this way, 4 inches across, and they could have been whatever height that they wanted them to be. That doesn't matter. I just wanted to make sure they was 4 inches across. And then they also had to make sure that the bottom was the exact measurements in the tutorial so that they'll fit on my little thing here. So anyway, these are the ones that are in here. The front ones are mine. I made these, I was following like a little challenge and I only got to 3 of them. So I made these cards. I posted these on Instagram a while ago. These are all my index cards. I was gonna make a whole like shabby chic box, and then the challenge was super cool because it had a theme, and then on the back you would put like whatever that picture is that was referring to your theme of that card. But I got sidetracked somehow and I only got to day 3 or challenge 3. So I really just wanted to put those in there because those are mine. And then this card was the example that I gave in the swap that I hosted for the index card challenge. So that's what I made. Turned out super cute. So the rest of these are just from everyone else's. Do a quick little flip through. So they had to decorate the front, and then on the back they had to write something. So this one is Ginger Pana. So she wrote, this is in June of last year. This is how long these have been sitting in this box, or the box that it was in. So you had to put your favorite style. So in case I wanted to make a card or send an extra goodie, the style was clean and simple, and she likes shabby. The $5 gift, which is something they had to put, would be seasonal Michael's ephemera, and then she lives in Hawaii. So I would pull that. So I think I'm going to make it a part of like the end of my YouTube video or something of this month's or this week's pick or something like that, just so that I can get through. I want to get through this whole box. So that's my goal. So anyway, I thought it was super cool to make the box to put them in so they can all look pretty. I use the what is the name of this paper? We know the name of this. Rose Quartz from Hobby Lobby. Prima Rose Quartz. I am out of it. I killed this paper pad. It's done. So I got this from Hobby Lobby. One of my absolute favorite pieces of Prima paper. Obviously, I bought 2 12x12 paper pads, and I made so many projects, so many travelers notebooks out of this. So I used the last few little sheets. I have a feather sheet, 1 sheet left, and then I'm going to use that for something else. So use whatever paper you like, something to coordinate with your craft room or what have you. You'll need a couple sheets of 12x12, and then you'll need some, I think 1 sheet of 12x12 chipboard. You can make this whatever length and width you want to make. This is for, the tutorial is for this particular box, and I wanted to make the whole length of my chipboard, just to 1, decrease how many times I have to cut, but 2, I wanted to maximize this space because I know I'm going to make another one here today. So I want to, because I know that over time I'll be collecting more of these. I may host another one of these swaps, but I wanted to make another one, and I want them to coordinate, and I wanted to just maximize the amount of chipboard and stuff that I had to the fullest potential. So that's why this is 12 inches in length, and then the top is 2 inches in height, rather. Let me see, it's hard to do this. So the front has this cute, I got this in one of the embellishment boxes. The handmade flower, here, let me show you what the flower looks like. It was 2 of those in this embellishment box. It's absolutely gorgeous and shabby. I don't want to decorate the box too much, but I want it to, when it's facing me, I want it to look pretty. So I added some pom-pom trim on the side, and then I have that flower right in the front, and the pretty shabby paper from the Rose Quartz paper collection. So that's enough for me. So I'm going to show you how to put one together. Again, you can use your own dimensions if you like. This is just the dimensions for this one. Again, it's 12 inches by 2 by 4.5. So this part is 4.5 wide, 2 inches high, 12 inches long. All right, so let's get started. I am going to use the remainder of my Prima Rose Quartz paper. Like I said, I had a few sheets left, so I used 2 for that project. I'm going to use 2 for this one, and I have that 1 feather sheet left. So whatever your colors are, you want to make some flanges to put the box together. This will be the easiest box you'll ever make. I can't promise you that, but I promise. Okay, so you will need 2 pieces cut at, I'm using basil cardstock, by the way. It's textured and it gives it a little bit more heavy weight. Well, you need 2 pieces of cardstock cut at 2 by 12. You need 2 pieces cut at 2 by 4.5. And then you'll need 4 pieces cut at 2 by 2. 1, 2, 3. So you'll need 4 of those. And this is just in your cardstock. All right. And then for your cover paper, now feel free to cover or don't. I did the inside and outside. Let me bring it back out. I did the inside and outside, or the outside for sure, and then the inside of the panels on all 4 sides. I did not do the bottom because that's not going to be, nobody's going to see that at all. I did put some black cardstock on it to make it look clean, but that's it. So for the pattern paper or other paper, you will need the following. You need 1 piece. This is going to go at the bottom. Now, if you want to use pattern paper for that, you certainly can. This is cut at 4.5 by 12. And then for the underside, again, pattern piece, you can do it or not, or switch it up, totally up to you. 4.5 by 12. And then you'll need 4 pieces cut at 2.5 by 12. Now I'm doing 2 of this color, and I'm going to flip it and do 2 of the back. And then you will need 4 pieces cut at, did I say 2.5 for this? It's 2 by 12. I think I said 2.5, but 4 pieces cut at 2 by 12. And then 4 pieces cut at 2 by 4.5. And then you'll need, I just used the scrap piece of this, but you'll need a scrap piece of paper cut at 2 by 4.5. All right. And then for the chipboard pieces, you'll need 2 pieces cut at, well, 3. This is for something else, but I'll show you. You'll need 3 pieces cut at 2 by 4.5. 2 pieces cut at 2 by 12 and 2 by 12, and then 1 piece cut at 4.5 by 12. Okay, so those are all the pieces that you need. Now for the box, you only need 2 of these chipboard pieces, but this is going to go off to the side to add a little bit of thickness to help sturdy the dowel. Speaking of dowels, you need these round dowels, or what I'm using, these round dowels. You get 8, and I believe I picked these up. I want to say I got these from Hobby Lobby. These are so old, but these are 8 round, well, 8 come in a pack, round dowels, hardwood, and the dowels are 3/16 of an inch. So you need 2 individual dowels for this project. Take these 2 out. You'll also need some double-sided tape or ATG tape, whatever you prefer, and you'll need a hole punch. So I'm going to use my crocodile and some hot glue. That's it. Let's get started. So we're going to start out with our chipboard pieces, and those are these pieces that you'll need. These 2 that are 2 by 4.5, 2 by 12, 4.5 by 12. Okay, and then you'll need your flanges, all of them. That's all the cardstock that we listed off earlier. And then you'll need to add double-sided tape to the back. Before you add your double-sided tape, you want to score them in half. So these are 2 inches wide. So you want to score them 1 inch or down the middle. Okay, and then fold those over and then add your double-sided tape. And I've already done it to the other ones to try to save a little bit of time. So I'm using this 1 inch tape that I always use. And I'm just going to do both sides here. And I went across the line on the other one, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to clean up this edge a little bit. Alright. Alright, give that a nice press again. So, you want to take, I'm going to start with these bigger flanges here and this big piece of chipboard. I'm going to make sure that this is on here nice and right. And I'm going to take off one side. Of this tape. It's easier for me to work with one side at a time. Okay. Alright, and we're just going to adhere it right up to the score line. Just like so. You can always flip it over and give it a good rub. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side with the long flange piece. Okay. Score that up right there. Flip it over. Perfect. All right, now you want to take your longer pieces that are 2 by 12 and then peel off your tape and then add it to the side, line it up. Make sure you leave yourself a smidge of a gap so that you can close it. All right, and do the same thing to the other side by grabbing the other piece that's 2 by 12. Okay, so you should have something that looks like this. So now we're going to work on the sides, and we're going to grab the 2 pieces of chipboard that are 2 by 4.5 and the tiny flanges, the ones that are 2 by 2 scored in half. And I've already added tape to these, so all ready to go. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to line, so you're going to line these up to the side. So you can lay it down and then just make sure that that lines up with that score mark. Okay, and then take this piece off and line the 2 by 4.5 right there. So flip it over. Okay, so take your other flange, okay, take off 1/2, line it up to the end of that chipboard piece. Take off this tape. And we're going to bring it to us and meet it over here to this side and adhere down. See? That's what we have so far. All right, so what you should have left is 2 flanges that are the 2x2 and 1 piece of the chipboard that is 2x4.5. So what you need to get is that spare scrap of piece of paper that you cut at 2x4.5. That was the same size as this. So we're going to start to measure where we want the holes to be. So I'm going to grab my little sample piece here. Not sample piece, it's my card. And I'm going to lay it. This is the same size as the front of the chipboard, but I want it to be up a little bit because I want my pieces so that, you know, I want it to sit up a little bit. So basically I'm just going to measure it. So wherever you want this to be is where you would draw your holes. So I just laid it down. It wasn't a specific, you know, 1/2 inch from the bottom, 3/4 inch. I just centered it like so, made sure that it was even. I got a little ink pen and I'm drawing a hole. Not a hole, I'm tracing where the top of this begins. So that's what I traced on this piece of paper. See, right there, right there. So then I'll take my hole punch, and that's where I'm going to punch my circles. Center it right there. So this will be my template. Okay. So then we're going to transfer it onto this piece of chipboard. That's the same size. Keep this template off to the side. I transferred it on my chipboard, and then I'm going to cut those holes out. Just like that. You can put your flanges on here. So continue on with making your box. And that's putting it on this side. And then taking it off. Layering my piece down. And then grabbing my other flange. Layering it down. And then we're going to close it up. A little barn door. So that's what we should have with the holes down there. Okay, so now you see there's some gaps down here. We can fix that with the other 2 flanges that we have left, which should be 2x4.5. Put that down here. And do the same thing to the other side. And then I'm going to take this piece off. That up. Yes, it is going to cover your dots, but that's fine. That's why we made the template, so we can know where we are. Now the box is complete. Now you can go from here and just put your cards in there and be done. But if you want to go the extra step and add the cute little wooden dolls, have them sit up in, this is what you do. So I'm gonna take something, a pen, a pair of scissors, and punch this hole in the paper, because my crocodile won't fit, nor my big bite won't fit in there. It'll block, the big bite is blocked by the back, so you have to do it that way. So yeah, fill these in, and then you're just going to go ahead and push your dowels, you know, make a way for that to fit. I'm gonna have to use my scissors because that's not providing me a big enough hole, so I need the entire hole. Don't worry, we're gonna cover that up. So now you can push these dowels right through there, like force your way in there. It's a perfect fit. It's a snug fit, which is what we want. Boom. Now see, this is what I was saying while we made that extra piece. So my dowels are flush against this board, and there's like a little right here, little tiny, you hear it scratching, little tiny bit of room. So that's why we cut that extra piece of chipboard. So I'm going to remove my dowels. So that extra piece of chipboard is going to go right here, right in there. Now, before you adhere anything down, put the dowels back through there and make sure they touch enough for you. If you want them even more snug, add more chipboard or a few pieces of cardstock. So this is touching perfectly where they don't move. But I still am going to add some more cardstock to cover this, so it'll be a little bit more snug. So you know the resistance that you like when you get to it. So I'm going to cover this up with cardstock, and then that extra piece of let me see, did I make, yes, this is the extra piece of the cardstock that we cut. I'm just going to cover that up on the top, just like so. Okay, and then I'm going to add, you can add some hot glue, wet glue, double-sided tape. I'm actually going to add double-sided tape because I don't want any bumps in this that will be caused by the hot glue if I'm not fast enough. So I'm going to add double-sided tape to this. Now remember, this is the back piece, so it's the 2 by 4.5 piece of chipboard and the 2 by 4.5 piece of cardstock that we cut out earlier. I'm adding double-sided tape, not 2. Do I keep saying 2.5? It's 2 by 4.5. Take off this double-sided tape and then place this inside the box. There we go. I'm gonna make this a little tight with my bone folder. Okay, now you can go ahead and add the rest of your papers to the inside. Minus, don't do anything with this front one yet. Let's just add the bottom piece. This is the 4.5 by 12. You can feel free to cut it down a 1/8 of an inch smaller if you want it, but I like the snug fit. Okay, and we're gonna do the inside pieces. Oh, I meant to have that upside down, but that's okay. I can have my whole box in this design. I don't want the outside of the box this black, but we'll just have one whole box of circles. And then just start filling in your pieces. This box is nice and sturdy. So now we're down to the front. You want to grab your template and punch, if you didn't match it up, you know, grab your whatever template that you have. Of course, mine's is the same as the pattern paper because I had extra. And you want to make sure that it's lined up and then cut your hole. Okay, and then do it to the last piece as well. So you should have 2 left. These are the ones that's 2 by 4.5. Okay, don't put that on yet, but you can put the inside one on. And then we're going to add our dowels and some glue. Okay, this goes on the inside of the box. Just make sure that it's lined up in there. Okay, and that's lined up perfectly. And then now we want to go ahead and push these dowels through. It's a nice snug fit because we added so much paper. I make it flush against the front. And then here, let's see here, we're going to add the hot glue. But before I do that, I think I'm going to add, I'm going to, not think, I know, I'm going to put my template back in here at the bottom. Make sure that it fits in there nice and even. And then we're going to have to draw the circles so we know where to put the dowels so they'll be even. So see, my circles are down there. You can't, but they're down there. So I'm going to add my hot glue, or you can add wet glue if you'd like. So hope you can see. Yeah, I got my dot right there, just a little dot. Grab my dowel, put that right on there, like so. My little dot. Hold my dowel down, right on top. Feel free to add more glue around there to make it as secure as you want. So now the front, they're flush. So now add your front cover. Now you can also add a little hot glue in here in the front. Right in the front to like encapsulate this little piece. Even though it's flush, you can just add a little bit to the front. And then you can add your two pieces. You actually don't even need the two holes. I don't even know why they're there, but you don't need them. I don't know why they're there, you guys. So I don't know why I put the third one up there. I wasn't supposed to do that. But the last thing that's left to do is just cover the back, and I'm just using black cardstock. All done with that. Feel free to decorate it. I am going to add I'm going to add my little flower here, but I'm going to add a little lace around the edges, and then we're going to put the cards in. All right, I'm going to add this cute little lace around the edges. All right, that's all done. So the only thing that I need to do is to add my beautiful flower, because I can't add too much shabby or too much stuff to this. I mean, I can, but I do want to make it look pretty. So let's test it out. So if you follow the tutorial, I will link the tutorial for the index card that I put before when I was doing the swap. Then all of your cards should fit. So I'm just going to grab a few from here. Let's see. Put it in there. Well, you want to hear like a little snap. That's what you want. So on and so forth. I mean, I could transfer this all day. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this tutorial will be helpful for some of you and you'll try it. If you do try it and it turns out great, tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I'd love to know. If it does not turn out, don't tag me. I don't want to see it. I'm just joking. Alright guys, like the video if you like it. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.